Hi everybody, it's Kyra Lene and welcome to my YouTube channel. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit subscribe and also hit the bell so that you're able to get all of my notifications. So today we're going to be talking about love, sex, and marriage. So all of those things are beautiful, wonderful things when they're expressed correctly. And as I was just basking in God's presence, I was just overwhelmed by His love for me. And His love is so strong and it's so deep and it's so unknown even. And you might think like, what do you mean it's unknown? It's not something that we can just like take all in at once. So it's a gradual, progressive thing that we can just dive into little by little. And as I was just in His presence, I was like, you know what, Lord, I want to understand a little bit more deeper your love for me, how you feel about me. And so what I did is I started at the beginning, which is Genesis, and I looked at Genesis 4:1, and it says, "And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived." So you might be thinking like, okay, Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived, so that means Adam had sex with Eve and she conceived. No biggie, but the Hebrew for knew in that verse means to ascertain by seeing. And I didn't know what ascertain meant, which is okay because there's dictionaries and you know online that I can look it up. And that's what I did. So I found that it was discover, some synonyms for it. Discover, get to know, learn, discern, see, understand, comprehend. And there's other ones out there. But as I began to substitute that back into the verse, I saw that on the surface it tells us that Adam had sex with Eve, which is not, like I said, that's not uncommon or anything to wow and rave about. But as I looked at it on a deeper level, it said that Adam discovered Eve, that Adam learned Eve, Adam understood Eve, he comprehended Eve. And immediately I kind of made a link to another scripture, which is 1 Corinthians 13:12. And it says, "For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as I am known." And that verse is talking about us, the bride of Christ, as right now we see things darkly. But it says, now I know in part. So right now, as the bride, we just know in part. But then shall I know even as I am known. So if you look at it as Adam and Eve and God or Jesus Christ and us being the bride of Christ, we're known. God knows us. He knows every intimate detail about us, things that we don't even know about ourselves yet. He knows. But it says that when we meet Him face to face, then we'll know Him in the same way that He knows us. So there's lots of comparisons in the Bible that talk about us being the bride of Christ, that talk about husbands and wives, and in that comparison between God and His people. One of those scriptures is found in Ephesians 5 verses 25 to 31. So I won't go through and read that, but it does further illustrate that comparison. And I am about to wrap things up here on YouTube, but I do want to encourage you to go over to my blog where I will go further in depth with the discussion of love, sex, marriage, and how God has really blessed us with these gifts here on earth as it is in heaven. Just a few points that I want to leave you with is, one, marriage, sex, love, all of that stuff, it does serve a purpose here on this earth, but it also has a grander purpose as it relates to us and God in our relationship with Him. So on my blog, I do want to go into some practical ways that we can look at love, sex, and marriage here on this earth, but I also want to go into some deeper spiritual aspects of it. So make sure you go over to KyraLene.com/blog